All right, y'all. Big homie CC. He was on Real Life Street Stars. They asked him a question. Second to last question of the entire interview. Do you believe in heaven and hell? Now, big homie CC, celebrity bodyguard. He's seen a lot of stuff in the industry. If you know, you know. If you don't, then you can go back and watch some of my other reactions to his interviews. Now, I thought his response was very interesting, and I was actually surprised at what he said. All right, let's listen.
I just got one more question before we end, and this is just a big homie question. We talked about a couple of interviews ago about demons and things that you've seen, right?
Right.
It's just a personal question. Do you believe in heaven and hell?
Yes.
Right.
I do.
And the things that you've seen, what makes you believe in heaven and hell? That's what I'm asking.
Okay. It's crazy you asked me this. Because like over the last month, I've been getting people calling on my Instagram to ask me something. I'll do my little questions, post on my story, and I get asked the same question, bro, over and over and over. Like, have I ever met the devil? Right? And this is one reason why me and Dude got so close right now. Like anybody who ever seen us together and see how we operate, you can tell like them boys locked in. Like people always comment this. And some people have said the interview that me and him did on this couch was the best interview they ever seen.
Right.
Right? All right, let me be careful here. 2017, people from the church and from that orphanage, as y'all seen Dude dropping the toys off on for Christmas, they called us up saying that they wanted help searching throughout the community, looking through abandoned houses. Because a little lady had got by a person he drug into an abandoned house about a week before that. She was a member of the congregation. They called us to help them. Now, mind you, we loading up in church vans. It's just a bunch of little old ladies, a couple old deacon dudes. They going to search through abandoned houses. The first night we didn't go. But then somebody called and said, yeah, we went into a house and somebody was smoking and they slapped Deacon Meeks. They slapped Deacon Meeks, broke his glasses. No, it's not right. Okay. Dude said, Gordo, we gonna have to go help. I'm like, all right. We go to the liquor store, we get our drinks, and we following behind their church van in our own car. You know what I mean? We're not really trying to go walk up in these dirty abandoned buildings, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then we know that the hype's in there getting wild at this time. You feel me? It's late at night. You know, tell them what you're gonna see. Right. We go search through, you feel me? We don't find nobody, nothing like that, you feel me? We seen a couple homeless guys in there sleep, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We ended up just staying up the whole night because Dude had to perform at this club called Red Diamond. He performed at the club, we stay up all night. We say, man, look, let's go get us. They paid him some money, so he's like, man, Gordo, let's go get a room downtown. I'm gonna get 2 rooms and we just kick it downtown for the weekend. We at the Dana Hotel, 660 North State Street. We walk into the hotel. They say we can't check in for another hour. Cool. We go down to the bar. We just gooling sipping. I used to wear a cross chain. I used to wear a silver cross chain every day. We get to the bar. It's this white dude, blonde hair, blue-eyed dude. He got a little suit, and she got a suit on. You can tell it was a tailored suit. But I noticed his cufflinks. I only seen them cufflinks one time at the Hermes store with a client. I knew them cufflinks was like $15,000 for both. I'm like, look at this man. I'm like, this dude got paper. But he got a smug look at me though. So I'm like, man, you want to get a drink? He said, I wouldn't have a drink with you. I'm like, what the? So, but it was something weird about him though, because when I got close to him, I felt like I was in front of somebody who was like, I don't know, bro. Like it made the hair, like it gave me a weird feeling that I never felt before. So I'm like, man, I think to myself, hold on, where's my gun at? Is it in my book bag? Well, I got it on me. I'm thinking this. As I'm thinking about my gun, this man say, you wouldn't dare pull something like that out in a place like this. But I thought this. Right. And then he responded to me based off what I thought. And Dude said, what is he talking about? I say, something up with Dude. He said, yeah, I don't like him, Gordo. I'm like, right. So I get my drink and he just standing there looking at us like we was crazy. And once we saw him though, it hit him like, damn, we seen him in Vegas. And we seen him at the airport. And we seen him at the chicken and waffle place. So I'm not gonna say that I met the devil, but we met one of them. Oh, bro, we met somebody. We met somebody. You know, the Tesla have a biometric camera on it. If you take it down to the graveyard, it's gonna show people walking around. When you look out the window, you ain't gonna see nobody though. Why is that camera picking up a biometric human vibe? Why is it showing up on the camera? You know, the little 3 times we went out with the exorcist, with the father, you know, man, a little lady grabbed my hoodie and pulled me so close to her face. There's no way that little lady could pull me like that. And there's no way she could know the details about our life, how she knew. I was raised in the church, you know what I'm saying? I studied theology in college. I do believe there is an afterlife, and I do believe that there is I'm not gonna say heaven, I'm not gonna say hell, but I will say that you need to have your beliefs right when you die. Because if it's not, you can get stuck in the middle. And I'll leave it at that on bro.
So now this was like 9 months ago, but this clip has gone viral in the past like week. And a couple things, well, several things. Let's start with the most important, because he said that he sat next to this dude, right? And my contacts are dry. Hey, the real contact wearers know the struggle when your contacts get dry. He's sitting next to this dude at the bar at the hotel. He notices he has very nice cufflinks, like $15,000 cufflinks, right? So what I can only assume is he's trying to network. He asked if he wants to have a drink with him. He declines. Big homie starts to feel something weird, something off. And he starts thinking, where's my gun at? Is it on me? Where's my gun at? And the dude says, you wouldn't dare pull something out like that in a place like this, right? So implying that the individual read his mind. So that's the first thing I want to address, but let's just put a pin in that for a second. The next thing that he said is that him and his friend realized that they saw this dude, the same guy, in Vegas, and then they saw him in a couple other different locations. So they're realizing that they're seeing this same guy in different locations, right? So that's the second thing. Let's put a pin in that. Let's go back to the first point. The concept of, because the question was, do you believe in heaven and hell? He told this story as a representation of him potentially meeting the devil. Now, he said he met one of the devils. So I don't know if he means like a demon or something like that, but he's painting the picture as if he met some type of demonic individual, right? So first things first, I think oftentimes we give the devil and demons way too much power. We assume that they have way too much power. We got to be very careful. We can't attribute divine attributes to the devil and his demons. The devil cannot read your mind. That would imply that the devil is possessing perfect knowledge of all things. That's something that only God can do. That's something that only God can do. That omniscience is only reserved for God, because he is the only one that has perfect knowledge of all things. The devil cannot read your mind. Now, the devil and demons, they have been on this earth for thousands of years. They have tempted and influenced countless numbers of people, right? They have knowledge of us, of humans, of human nature, right? So they have an element of understanding of humans, but to say that they can read our mind, you're giving them way too much power. You're giving them way too much power, right? The second thing is the omnipresent suggestion of like, man, I saw this guy in Vegas. I saw this dude in LA. I saw this dude here, here, and here. And maybe that's true. Maybe that's the case. But once again, you can't give the devil and demons attributes that are solely reserved for God. Those are divine qualities that you're describing. Even though he didn't outright say it, in your description, it sounds like you're giving the devil and demon divine qualities that are only reserved for God. So I just want to say that. And the reason I want to say that is because there's a lot of people in the comments who are very freaked out. They're very afraid. They're very scared. They're very scared. I don't know why I said it like that. They're very scared. Right? Because they think that the devil can read their mind. They think that demons can read their mind. They think that the devil can be everywhere all at once. That's not true. Those are qualities that are only reserved for God. Those are divine qualities. The second thing I want to say is, I know this is 9 months ago, but I hope that because he said that he grew up in the church, and he was even in this story, he was helping out a church because a woman of the church got assaulted in an abandoned building. And I guess it sounded like the congregation is going to these abandoned houses, house after house. I don't know what they were trying to do. I don't know if they were looking for people. I don't know if they were looking for the person who did it. I don't know what they were trying to do exactly. But Big Homie gets involved. He's helping out. He's providing protection for the church. So, he said he grew up in the church, and he studied theology in college, which is all great. But if you don't know the gospel, it's kind of all for nothing. You know what I mean? And for somebody who has been around the type of stuff that he has claimed to be around, the darkness and the spiritual aspect of the entertainment industry, the sacrificial aspect, the rituals that he described, all the type of stuff that he has described in past interviews that we have spoken about. My hope is that he understands the gospel today. That's my hope. And that's my prayer. You know what I mean? Because I was expecting him to go in a different direction, but nonetheless, this was 9 months ago. Maybe he does know the gospel at this point. I pray he does. Because even to this day, he's still doing some very dangerous stuff. In the rescue missions that he talks about, in the trafficking sting operations that he talks about, all the type of stuff that he talks about, which I think, that those activities are very needed activities, assuming that you're operating in a lawful way, right? Assuming that you're not just going off like a vigilante. And he said that as well. He said that that's not the type of time that he's on, that he operates lawful in these operations, because you're almost acting as if you're law enforcement. You're almost acting as if you're like special ops, right? But you're not. But like I said, I think that is all great stuff that he's doing as he describes, because I don't know exactly what he does. I'm listening to what he describes of what he does. And it sounds like he does a lot of rescue missions, and he helps track down very bad people and, recommend them to law enforcement or other stuff. I don't know. But even in that world and in that lifestyle that he's living, very dangerous. Like for any of us, you never know when your next breath could be your last breath. Your next breath could literally be your last breath, right? So you think about somebody who's in that situation where they are face to face with that type of violence at an increased rate. I don't know. I can't talk. at an increased rate, you can only imagine that you are much more likely to, have some stuff happen to you and potentially pass away. So I hope he knows the gospel, and I hope he understands that heaven and hell are very real places, and we all have an eternal calling. At some point, you're going to end up in one of those two places, right? Anyway, that's the moral of my story. Don't freak out. The people in the comments, at least the comments that I was reading, people were freaking out. You know what I'm saying? Go to God. He's got you. Stop giving these demons so much power. They don't have any power. If you're in Christ, They don't have any power over you. You have power over them. You have all dominion and authority over them. So that's the part I want to get across. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Get in my comments, like this video. I'm out, y'all.